Welcome back, puppies, to another Barking Dog Studio video. This video we're going to be painting black skin. It's a black skin tone, and this is the miniature we're going to be painting. He's from Hassle-Free of the United Kingdoms. Oh, there we go. I have been painting on him, been working on it. Right now, we're just going to be painting up his skin tone, the upper part of his torso there, and his arms, and his bald head. And I'm going to be using wet palette. Shaking up my paint here, give you a look at it. This is a Negro Gray, so it's actually, of course, a black gray, but it's actually a very, very black. It hardly looks gray at all. A straight black would work. I'm just going to go ahead and work with this one, and then I will be blending in some of this Miskatonic Gray from Fantasy, or it's from Scale Color. Actually, it's part of their Fantasy Games line. I'll be working this in to create a highlight, but for the base coat, we're going with this Negro Gray, which again, I mean, it's got maybe a slight grayness to it, but it's pretty black. And to get, see, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this gray on the palette here too. And to get a really thin coat, what I've been doing lately that I really like doing is adding a little bit of this to the paint, just help thin it out a little bit. And yes, this does say airbrush on it, but a lot of products that are for airbrushing also work really great for just regular brushing. Just because it says airbrush doesn't mean that you're limited to just using an airbrush, just using it through an airbrush. In fact, a lot of the miniature paints that I get, if I can, I'll get a hold of one that's airbrushable. Because then later, when I do go to run it through an airbrush, I typically don't have to worry about thinning it down too much. Now, along with this airbrush flow improver, I will actually add just a little bit of water. The water that I add will actually come from some of the beads of water that are actually already on the wet palette. And there weren't any other colors mixed in there. I think if you notice, there was some paint already on that bamboo skewer I was using, but it's dried paint, so it won't really be having an effect on anything. Okay, so we're ready to start applying our paint. Again, what I do, I'll just slide this back up here. You saw me mix in the flow improver, which kind of thins out the paint a little bit. And I have these beads of water. I'll just get some water, mix it in there. And this will form kind of a glaze. Because then I'll take a paper towel and just go like that to get off some of the excess. I'll just start working it on there. Am I on camera? There we go. Start working it in. And with the Zenithal Prime, where I primed black from this angle, and then kind of a gray from this angle, and then white from straight down, or from top down. Using a glaze like this, where I thin out the paint, I might get away with not really having to highlight it too much with that Miskatonic Gray, if I'm saying it correctly. So that's kind of the idea here. Because even though we are painting black skin, of course you're still going to have lighter areas. You're going to have lighter and darker areas. Well, this is turning out really good, so good that I may not actually use any of that gray at all to highlight with. In fact, I don't even know that I'm really going to need more than one coat. Normally with a glaze I would say at least 2 or 3, but this is working out really, really well. You can see where he's at there. Yes, I'm very, very happy with that. So I knew this was going to be a quick video, but I think it might end up being quicker than what I initially thought. Give you a nice close-up of him here. Hopefully having this black background will allow for a clearer picture. Turn out this light here and see if that makes much of a difference. What we have is a gray dwarf, kind of a black gray dwarf. There are other skin tones, other ways to do skin tones, so or black skin tones, as well as, there's probably a million different ways you can do Caucasian skin tones, but this is one kind of quick approach to doing a black one. I'm really happy with the way he turned out. I do need to touch him up a little bit. Because there are some spots where he didn't get real great coverage. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way he's turned out. But now we're going to have a little bit more fun. And even though he's got kind of a gray-black skin tone going on here, I'm going to add a little bit of color to it with some secret weapon purple heat. It's really just kind of a magenta color. And I'm going to be making a glaze similar to what I just showed you with the Negro gray. And when you're doing something like this, oh, I'm off camera, I'm so sorry. When you're doing something like this, painting the lip, just do the bottom lip. Otherwise, you get a lipstick effect. And I'm not wanting this guy to be wearing lipstick. I'm just wanting to add some color. And I'm going to come in and do it for his ears here too. And the coat is so thin I may have to do it more than once, or give it more than one coat. Alright, now we'll give him another coat for his black skin tone. Now when I'm going to be going over and doing that, I'm actually going to avoid those areas that I just added the magenta to, or the red, the purple heat. And the idea of doing very thin layers like this is that it should still allow the pre-shading I did with the primer to come through. But again, I have that gray on hand just in case you know, you're not happy with it. So it's always worth it to go ahead and have it out there. I'm hoping I won't need it, but again, if I don't like the way it looks, I can always highlight up if I end up going too dark. I don't see that happening though. I think this second coat's really going to give me what I was going for. Thin coats. Thin coats are the way to go. And this is actually still a pretty quick process. I'm just working on his skin tone. Of course, you know, doing the whole model I've put some more time into, but I think I'm going to give him a blonde beard. I think that blonde will contrast really good with the blood in his nose, or you know, underneath that skin, the red hue there, and his ears, and then his black skin. I think it'll look pretty sharp, giving him a blonde beard. And for that, I'm probably just going to use. I won't do it on camera, but you'll get to see the mini completely finished. I'm probably just going to use the blonde triad from Reaper. So I think it does a pretty good job of nailing blonde. So oh yeah, I'm really liking the way he looks with this second coat. He's got some veins on his arm too, but I don't think I'm going to bother adding any color to those. I'm going to stop right there. So when you get a close up of this guy next, after this, it'll be the finished model. We'll have his beard all painted up and the rest of his axe. I could bump that up to 11 or something, you know, by adding another highlight, but I really don't think he needs it. I think for throwing him down the tabletop and playing with him, that works really great. He's not a competition piece. Alright, back on, puppies.
Well, okay, for a future black skin tone video, I will demonstrate kicking it up a notch using a lighter color for a highlight and showing you that that is actually possible to take a darker color into a lighter color by using glazes. But for now, we're going to call it good here.